I sent $10K to help with my parents' debt, then found out they gave it to my brother for casino. Hey Reddit, I was sitting at my kitchen table in Portland, Oregon, sipping lukewarm coffee, staring at my bank account, which had just dropped by $10,000. I'd wired the money to my parents that morning, heart-heavy but determined. It's for the house my mom, Evelyn, had said the night before. We're months behind on the mortgage. We might lose it. I was already juggling my own student loans, car payments, and saving up for a down payment on a fixer-upper. But this was my parents' house. The one I grew up in. The one where my dad, Walter, built me a treehouse from scratch. The one where Mom used to sing old Fleetwood Mac songs while folding laundry. I couldn't let it go. Not like this. Thank you, Callie, Mom had sniffled on the phone. You always come through. It wasn't the first time I'd helped them, and it wouldn't be the last, I thought. My brother, Mason, on the other hand, their golden boy, hadn't lifted a finger in years. He was 31, still lived in their basement, and cycled through get-rich-quick schemes like clockwork, dropshipping, NFTs, a failed protein shake brand. And yet, he never seemed to lack for new Jordans or beer money. I try not to resent it. Later that week, I called to check in. Did the bank accept the payment? I asked. There was hesitation. Too long. Oh, yes, Mom said. All settled. Something in her voice prickled. Tight. Overcompensating. Can I see a receipt? I asked casually, just for my records. We, shredded it. But everything's good now, sweetheart. Weird. I pushed the suspicion down. They were probably just embarrassed. Still, the feeling followed me like a shadow for the next few days. It was a Thursday night when the truth hit me like a brick. I was scrolling Instagram during my break at the clinic. I'm a veterinary tech, when Mason's story popped up. Viva Vegas, baby. He shouted into the camera. I stared, stunned, as he panned across a luxury suite at Bellagio. Bottles of champagne, poker chips on table, neon lights flashing through the window. And then my stomach dropped. He shouted, "Shout out to the fam for sponsoring the best weekend ever." No. I replayed it 3 times. My heart thudded louder with each pass. My hands were shaking. I dialed Mom. She picked up on the second ring. Voice chipper. Hey, sweetheart. I didn't even greet her. Did you give my 10 grand to Mason? Silence, deafening. Then a sigh. Look, Callie, he was going through a hard time. He needed a break. You know how stress affects his blood pressure. You lied to me. You said it was for the house. Well, we thought maybe if he hit it big at the tables. You gamble my money. Mom's voice turned sharp. Don't be dramatic. You always act like you're some martyr. He's your brother. I was so angry I couldn't breathe. You use me. Again. Oh, don't be so self-righteous, Callie. You don't have kids. You don't know what it's like to watch one fall apart. I hung up before I screamed. That night, I cried so hard I threw up. I'd been working double shifts, sacrificing meals, skipping outings with friends just to send that money, and they gave it to Mason like I was their personal ATM. I stayed up till dawn, planning, thinking, remembering every time they'd put him first. When I was 10 and got straight A's, they said, "Don't show off. It'll make Mason feel bad." When I got into college on scholarship, they sighed, "Too far. Stay local like Mason did." When Mason broke my favorite mug during a tantrum, they said, "It's just a thing. Don't make a scene." Now they had taken my money, lied to my face, and Mason, living it up on my dime, probably calling himself a strategic investor. That morning, I emailed a real estate agent. If they wanted to gamble away my kindness, I'd start investing it in people who earned it. And that would only be the beginning. I didn't call them for 3 weeks. Not once. I ignored every text, every voicemail, including Mason's one drunk call that started with, "Yo, sis, I think I made a mistake," and ended with muffled laughter, and some girl in the background yelling, "Another round." I stayed focused. Because while they were blowing cash in casinos, I was making moves. I met with the real estate agent I'd contacted. She was sharp, no nonsense, and didn't blink when I told her. I'm looking for something near Claremont, ideally 2 to 3 bedrooms, doesn't need to be big, just needs to be symbolic. She raised a brow, symbolic. I smiled. Let's just say I'm buying peace and boundaries. It didn't take long. The housing market was weird, but not impossible, especially when I used the $14,000 in savings I'd left, pulled some investments I'd been holding since college, and cashed out a bond my grandpa left me. I made the down payment by the second week. The house was tiny, yes, but it was 2 blocks from my parents' street. Close enough to be seen. Far enough to never knock on their door again. I started moving in. Quietly. Mason still hadn't come home. I saw on social media that he'd extended his trip. After losing most of his winnings the first night, he borrowed another $2,000 from Dad and blew that too, then got in some kind of fight at a club and fractured his wrist. Mom posted a picture of him in a sling with the caption, "Our brave boy still smiling through the pain ash." Family first. I stared at it, nauseated, the way they coddled him like a toddler, the way they ignored what he did to me and what they did with my money. But the world had a funny way of spinning back around. A week later I got a call from my Aunt Laura, Dad's estranged sister, who moved to Seattle years ago. We hadn't spoken in forever, but I picked up. She said she was cleaning out some of Grandpa's old boxes. "You remember that letter you gave him back in high school?" She said. I froze. "You found it?" "Not just that, he kept everything, college acceptance, vet school photos, even a card you made when you were 6 that said, 'When I'm rich I'll buy you a tractor.'" She laughed gently. I swallowed the lump in my throat. Yeah, Grandpa was the only one who ever really saw me. "Funny thing," she said, "there's also a copy of a trust with your name on it." My breath caught. "What?" "Yep, left you a chunk of stock from an early tech fund. It matured like wildfire. Nobody even noticed. It's worth close to $300,000 now." I nearly dropped the phone. "But how?" "He never trusted your parents to tell you. He told me before he passed, if Callie ever needs to stand on her own, make sure she knows she already can." I sat on the floor for a long, long time, just sat staring at the wall, letting the full weight of it sink in. For years, I thought I was the disposable one, the background sibling, the one who existed to clean up after everyone else's bad decisions. But now, I wasn't just standing on my own. I was done waiting for recognition. I was done begging for love I had to earn. That weekend, Mason finally came back home. And that was the weekend everything started to unravel. I went to the grocery store on a Monday morning, just a quick trip. But as I rounded the corner of the frozen food aisle, there they were. Mom. Dad. Mason. The air turned colder than the freezer beside me. "Callie," Mom said, voice coated in fake surprise. "You're back in town." "I never left," I said calmly. Dad glanced at the items in my cart. "Looks like someone's eating well." Mason snorted. "Must be nice. Bet she's still bitter about that money." I smiled. "You mean my money?" Dad's voice hardened. "You act like we stole from you." "You did." "It's always about you," Mom hissed. "You've always acted like you're better than the rest of us. You don't know what family means." "You're right," I said, voice still quiet. "I don't, because apparently to you, family means lying, using, and gaslighting." Mason rolled his eyes. "Oh, come on, Callie. It was just 10 grand. Just 10 grand. That was it." I didn't raise my voice. I didn't cry. I didn't even flinch. I pulled out the deed from my bag. A copy, crisp and clean, folded once. I handed it to Mom. "What's this?" "The house I bought," I said. 2 blocks away." "Why?" She blinked. "It's where I'll be hosting Thanksgiving, for people who actually treat me like a person." "You can't be serious." "Oh, and one more thing," I said, pulling out my phone. I tapped it once, turned the screen toward them. It was a video. Mason, drunk in Vegas, slurring, "Shout out to my dumb sister Callie for paying for this weekend. Family's good for something." Mom's face went pale. Dad muttered, "Delete that." "No," I smiled gently. "In fact, I might just send it to a few people who've been wondering where your mortgage help went." I turned and walked away, cart rolling behind me. For once, my back was to them, and I didn't feel guilty. For once, they looked like the small ones. I didn't expect a reaction right away. But 3 hours later, my phone started buzzing nonstop. Missed calls, voicemails, a string of panicked texts from my mom. Mom, you embarrassed your brother. Take that video down now. Mom, again, do you want to ruin your father's name too? Mom. 20 minutes later. Fine, we can talk. Just please don't do anything stupid. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. Because by the next morning, the video had done exactly what it needed to. See, I hadn't just shown it to a few people. I had sent it to the family WhatsApp group, the one they had quietly removed me from years ago. The one filled with aunts and uncles who had no idea I was the one paying off Dad's car loan last year while he told everyone he bought it in cash. My cousin Dean replied first. Wait, this is how y'all treat Callie after she helped with your debt. Then came Aunt Louisa. I always wondered why she stopped coming to reunions. Now I know. The pylon began. Word spread. So, did the screenshot of Mason's video. So, did the story of the missing $10,000. And just like that, the golden family image my parents had spent decades polishing cracked publicly. They called again that evening. I didn't answer. The next day, they showed up at my door. I saw their figures through the peephole first. Mom's arms were folded. Dad looked tired, unusually quiet. Mason stood a step behind them, holding a plastic grocery bag, like some kind of peace offering. I opened the door halfway. Callie, Mom began. We made mistakes. But this whole stunt was unnecessary. Your family. Now I am. I asked, voice level. Dad cleared his throat. Look, we talked. And Mason wants to apologize. Mason stepped forward, eyes down. Yeah, sorry about the money thing. That's it. I asked. He shrugged. What do you want me to say? I stared at them all. How many years had I bet myself backwards to earn their love, only to be called dramatic, selfish, difficult? And now here they were at my door, not because they were sorry, but because they were exposed. I don't need your apology, I said. Mom's eyes narrowed. So what now? You just cut us off. I smiled softly. No, I just put us in the right order. I turned and walked back inside, closed the door. I didn't slam it, didn't scream, didn't cry. I simply locked it and moved on. 3 months later, my life looked completely different. I had expanded my veterinary clinic with a silent partner who turned out to be Aunt Laura. She'd offered to invest after hearing the full story. I've been waiting for someone in this family to actually show integrity, she said, handing me the contract. I hired 2 new assistants, moved into a better space, and started holding monthly pet rescue drives. My story of betrayal and quiet strength spread. Clients started coming in not just for my skill, but for the way I listened, the way I made people and animals feel seen. And as for my parents, they tried to repair their reputation. But some stains don't wash out easy. The mortgage went unpaid after Dad's job cut his hours. They called me in a panic one afternoon, begging for help. We're going to lose the house, Mom said, or your parents. You can't let this happen. I thought about the $10,000 I sent in blind faith. I thought about the laughter behind my back, the betrayal, the long years of being ignored unless I was useful. And then I thought about who I was now. Calm, grounded, whole. I can't help you, I said, but maybe Mason has a casino contact. Click. I never heard from them again. But sometimes I drive past their old house, the one they lost. A new family lives there now. There's a swing set in the yard, kids' bikes on the lawn. Laughter, real and bright, pours through the open windows. It reminds me of what family should feel like, and what I finally gave myself permission to find on my own terms. No more begging, no more fixing. Just freedom. Please subscribe to our channel and tell us in comments from where are you watching this video.